Wonderful. And I'm just going to bring up this thing in a second, and you guys are ready to go as we're doing everything. You should be able to see everything now as I'm doing everything at once. All right. Welcome back. We are MDEV1004. Here we go. This is starting now. 1004? 1001. I'll be okay. Woohoo! Right? We know that was wrong. You know that was a copy, right? In the summer 2023 semester at Georgian, and it's week 1, part 1 of our broadcast and recording. You guys can't see my face, but actually my face is on YouTube right now, and we're live on YouTube broadcasting and live here on Teams. And what I'm going to do just to do that is I'm going to go to record and transcribe, and I'm going to start the recording anyway. Okay. So let's do that again one more time. So again, we're MDEV1001, Mobile Data Management, in the summer 2023 semester at Georgian. And I'm just going to make sure that I have everything here. Here we go. And this is week 1, part 1 of our broadcast and recording. And in this part, we're going to talk about who am I, who are you, what are we doing, why are we here, and why are we spending this lovely weather together inside as opposed to outside, right? Let's talk about that. So this is me. This actually doesn't look like me anymore. This is an old picture, right? And I'm going to update it, I swear. I always say this to my wife. I say, you know what? One day I need to update this picture because I look a little bit too young. Like now I look a little older. This is about, this picture was taken about 6 years back. So it's kind of a little bit older, and, people change. Sometimes, we get fatter, we get thinner, all kinds of weird stuff happens, but that's me. I've been teaching technology, like it says here, since 2011, but before that, I've been in technology and the software engineering industry, hardware, networking, game development for more than 40 years, all right? So this is not a small amount of time I've been doing it. I do love playing games, like it says, and programming games, and I am currently sharing, I'm saying conservatively over 2,000 videos. Is probably closer to 3 at this point. This is how you can connect with me, and this is for formal reasons. If you're going to connect with me because you have a problem, like a real problem now. I'm talking about you're sick, or you have an accommodation that you need to fulfill. You can't continue with a course. Something went wrong, and you need to contact me about whatever. This is the best way to do it. You're going to do it through email, and because email is the formal way to communicate with me. However, I want to point out that this is not the best way to communicate with me. Email is okay, but I have this semester, I don't know, more than 100 students, right? So that means like you're one of 100 people that I need to get to know. If you come to class, and if I see you online, maybe your faces once in a while, I may get to know some of you, maybe, right? We'll see. And depending on your submissions and that kind of stuff, we might get to know each other. But there's a very good possibility that for some of you, I may never meet you in person, like the people that are online right now. And this course is a strange kind of course. This whole program is kind of weird because here are some assumptions for when it comes to communication. You might be in person, which might happen, right? I might see you in person and we might have a great conversation together, right? That means you have to actually get out of your house, come over to Georgian, unpack your bag, right? Be uncomfortable in another place. You're not going to be playing games or watching Netflix or something else at the same time that you're watching the video. Chances are you're not watching it on your phone when you're asleep or in bed, all right? You're kind of here physically. It's a thing. You have to actually do something to be here. So that's a challenge, number one. The other way to do it, of course, is online, like these people here who are synchronous. And we have 26 participants, which is an amazing number, guys. I'm really happy with the outcome or the people that are here today. I'd be very surprised if it lasts for the entire semester, not because I don't want it to. I want this. I would love for this to be my class every week, every single time we get together. I'm here for you guys, really, I am. And I would love for the people online to be online, just like this, like 26 here plus a bunch of other people here. That's awesome. That's amazing participation. If we can continue with that, I'll be like ecstatic, right? But here's the other thing. There's a bunch of other people that aren't here that are actually like going to do this asynchronously. They're going to watch my video and somehow they're going to try whatever they can to get, what you're going to get from me here physically in class, right? And I always talk about business courses. When we do business courses, I always talk about the worst, mode of communication. And the worst mode of communication is some kind of text or email. It's the worst form of communication you can possibly have, right? Because it's only a one-way communication. People can't see you, and they can't see your body language. They can't see if you're happy or sad. They can't hear your voice, your your inflections, and all these things. And then nowadays, I think text is a little better because it's kind of interactive, right? So sometimes we use Teams and stuff like that. If you want to text me through Teams, like direct message me, okay. I hate Teams. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think it's terrible. Terrible app, right? Actually, I think Zoom is better. I'll be honest with you. I think Zoom is more flexible for us. But I need Teams because without Teams, I can't do like this multimedia thing where you can't hear me properly, like through the camera that's supposed to be working right there that's not, right? So that's why I need to use Teams. But like I said, Teams is weird, and there's limitations on what we can do with it. So I like to use Discord, right? And Discord is a little better because a lot of you use Discord. You have your own servers. A lot of you use Discord, between each other. Some people use WhatsApp. I know that that's another popular app that people use. I'm there too, but I prefer, let's focus on a couple, okay? Because we can go crazy and go well, he's on WhatsApp, he's on email, he's on Discord, he's on Teams. Whoa, that's a lot, right? Availability for me, when you want to get a hold of me. We're together until 7 o'clock, 4 to 7 every Wednesday. That's when our time is together, right? And that's great, 4 to 7 p.m. But that means there might be a time where you need me after that. You need me till 8. Physically in class, I'll be available to answer your questions after class all the time. We're here. I'm already with you. If you're physically with me, I'll stick around. The people who are here. The people who aren't here who need me, well, then you can make an appointment, right? And I will be available from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. most days. But the weekends, Fridays, late night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, good luck trying to find me, okay? I'm being honest. I'm telling you this straight up in the beginning. Why? I respect your weekend, right? And I have family, and you have family, and maybe you want to connect with them or friends you want to go out with. Maybe you have jobs on the weekend too, right? All those things, except for the jobs, are the same with me, right? So let's make it a pact. Let's make an agreement together that after hours on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm going to see you Monday, or that's the earliest you're going to see me again. If you send me, that means if you send me an email on on Friday, you probably won't hear from me until Monday, at the very best. Was there a class that, sorry, I got a little bit of a chat here. I'm going to pull the chat up so we can see those things. I apologize. Was there a class that happened yesterday as well? There was only a class, not with me. On Monday, I had a class. And as for YouTube, one thing that you can always do is you can look me up. So if you go to YouTube and if you look up my name, right? So I know it's long, I'm sorry. I'm a long name kind of guy, right? So if you look me up and you see this is me, right? And if I go to YouTube Studio here, then I should be able to see the thing that I'm communicating live on. Let's go to content here. And then I can share with you the link. Here it is. Here's the link that I can share with you live. And I will populate that and put that on Teams. See, this is go back to this, go over here, go to chats, a bunch of stuff going on. But here it is on Teams. And what I'm also going to do, there's the message. And I'm also going to put this up on Blackboard. So please, Blackboard is the main way we're going to communicate with each other. I'm guessing most of you got my Blackboard message that I sent off on Sunday evening, right? And that's why you're probably here, and that's probably why some of you are online and all that kind of stuff as well, because you got my message. So Teams is the way we're going to meet, but I'm going to communicate with you on Blackboard more than anything else. So this is where I'm going to share my PowerPoint slides. So if you go to weekly content on Blackboard, that's where right now I have my PowerPoint slides, which I'm going to activate for you right now. So you can always look ahead. This was just for me, just in case I had issues, which I don't. And then I'm just going to populate that link that I just used, so people who want to watch me live. And I'm going to talk about why I do this. Some students are a little bit why do you record and then you do this? And I don't know. Well, there's some things I've learned over the 12 years that I've been teaching and over the 40 years that I've been doing stuff with adult students and everything else. And that is that people learn in a variety of different ways. So some people love to watch videos, right? Some people learn best when they're physically in class. There it is. It's up right now. You can actually watch it live if you really want to. Some people whose language is not English as a first language need some kind of extra support, all right? For example, things like closed captioning support and that kind of thing. By the way, if you're watching me live here in the class, just mute me if you don't mind. Otherwise, we're going to get weird echoing, okay? It's okay to do it, by the way. If you really want to watch me live on YouTube, it's about a second behind, which means if you miss something, you can always rewind, which is another reason why I want to do that live on YouTube, as opposed for you to watch the recording later. Watching the recording later is okay, but why would you want to watch 3 hours after you've done your 3 hours in class? That's like crazy, right? Unless you're completely asynchronous. So there's a recording, and what I want to try and do each week when we get together is, as we go, I'm going to populate the recording up online on Blackboard, and it's one and done. We don't have to worry about the Teams recording. It's up there. It's all good. Did I give you the wrong one? I don't think so. It should say 1001. Why does it say 1004? That's weird. I'll be okay. It's probably just my PowerPoint presentation that says 1004. It shouldn't. It should say 1001. That's me being bad. All right, so that's a little bit about me. I'm also, I made video games. I played Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer 40K, which is crazy hobbies. And I'm doing my Master's in VR Security, and I'm making a game called Bloodstar Plasmagoria, which is this dark future game that I'm making with my group of friends that we're going to actually make into a video game eventually. And I'm a busy guy, right? So catching me is like catching flies sometimes. So please take advantage of the ability for you to connect with me on Discord, right? So like I said to you last time, if the best way to communicate with me is on Discord, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., when Discord decides to come up. And eventually, there we go, it's coming. Woohoo, right? And we have our own little server that we're using, MDEV1023, that I'm going to invite you all to right now. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm going to invite people, and we're going to make it so that the link does not expire. Right, so you can always join us and all that kind of stuff. And one thing I want you guys to do here, I'm just going to populate things on, first on Teams for people that are here. There's the Discord invite link. Discord invite link. I know, am I boring you already? All right. I know, I talk a lot. What can I do? And, but also on Blackboard, so please, if you have to get it from one way or the other, please get your Discord invite link from there. What if you don't have Discord? Get one. Get Discord, right? And why do we want to use this thing in the first place? Because there might be a need in one of your other classes that you connect with people. Maybe you don't know each other, right? As an example, not everybody. And you're going to have to form teams in some other classes together. Please use Discord, which kind of spans across all courses, together. And there's also alumni, people who actually taken this course, they're actually on Discord in this channel that I'm sharing with you. And my hope is that over the years that we're going to be here together, me and you guys are going to go off and be successful somewhere else, you're going to have this ability to look back and maybe connect with some of the people on Discord. Okay, that's the idea. The community is not a large community here in Barrie. It's much larger in the Toronto area and so on. But, here in Barrie, what I recommend is start joining Discord like you guys are doing right now, right? And you can see that some people are doing so. So do it now. This is a great way of communicating and connecting with each other, and it's going to be for our course. Our course here, you can see that there is other courses that I've populated here. This is the one for us. This is in here. And what I'm also going to do here, just to be for an extra level of transparency, is I'm also going to create a category here. I'm going to add another category here, which is going to be recordings. So I'm not just going to record on and put it on Blackboard or on Teams. I'm also going to put it on here on Discord. So you can always go back if you missed something and look at recordings and go, what did he talk about again? What did he show us how to do? How did you install that thing? It's here. Okay, so please make sure that that's the case. That's where it's going to be. Eventually, that means that, going back to YouTube, I can grab that same video that I just had, and I can populate it here on Discord as well, because that is the video that we're going to be using, for today, starting off. Okay, just to get you a sense of how we're going to do things. Okay? Videos everywhere. Yay! All right. I know it's not so exciting, but I'm doing this because at some point in the semester, you're going to need it. You're going to go like, I forgot how to do this thing, and I don't know how to do it, and where do I get that information? Well, it's here. So what is this course about? This course is about basically where you're going to store your data for mobile. In this program, it's a split between Android, iOS, and cross-platform application development. That's what you're going to learn, right? For the most part. And you're going to be probably talking about data in all of those courses, by the way. There's going to be some crossover, some things that you're going to get it again from another perspective, from some other professor. And they're probably going to say slightly different things than me. It's okay. Here's something that also happens in this course. Not just do we have people in person, people online synchronously, and people online asynchronously, but we also have people that are out of sequence. People that are coming back to do this course because they haven't done it yet, right? Because this program you can do part-time as well. So you have part-time people who've never taken this course, and there are full-time people who are taking this course in sequence as well. That's another little, kind of wrinkle in this whole fabric of delivery, right? So this is the thing that we have to talk about. So that means that I cannot ever assume that, you know the technology, which means I'm going to be slow at some points. I'm going to talk about stuff that you probably already know. I'm going to ask you in advance, forgive me. I'm going to say stuff that you probably already know. You've heard it in another course, right? And also, I'm going to ask you to forgive them in advance, the other professor, whoever they are, because they're going to talk about it again as well. Not because we don't want to give you content, but because each of these courses is a capsule. It can be taken out of sequence. And I want you guys to be comfortable taking any of the courses in any sequence, and you're good to go, okay? Which means I'm going to go slow. So things that you asked me to go from the beginning, I'll try my best. There are going to be some things, though, that there are going to be some assumptions I'm going to make. You guys are grad students. That's the assumption, which means you've done some kind of technology program before. Yes? Something. Yes? Maybe? Try.
I haven't been practical.
You never. That's okay. Practical is something that we're here to do. The assumption is you may have not done practical stuff, but you've done some kind of technology course before, which means you might have the background knowledge from it as well, right? So I'm going to do my best to show you what to do. I don't want you to be afraid to do it, though. You need to do it hands-on. There is no better teacher than that to actually do it. So please don't just watch. And don't just talk to your friends and say, can you help me out? I would say no. Don't do it, right? Try and figure it out on your own a lot first. So that's what this course is about. This course is about data management. We're going to talk about data management locally as well as remotely. So local data management means data management on the device. If you're an iOS user or you're an Android user, you're probably having this phone that's in your pocket. Anyone not have a phone? By the way, this people are laughing at me now, but 10 years ago, that was a very good question. Some people said, no, I don't have a phone, right? 10 years ago. And it was only 10 years ago that people didn't have a phone. How about this? Who has an iPhone? That's it. See, that's a question, right? And the rest of you have Android phones, correct? Which means that doing an iPhone course, an iOS course, there's a very good chance that only the people who have iPhones are going to get a lot out of it, right? Why? Because, and by the way, it's the other way around too, vice versa. People who have Android phones are going to get a lot more out of the Android courses, right? You can get a lot out of both things. Do I recommend that you buy an iPhone if you don't have an iPhone? Hell no, I say, right? Because you're going to spend thousands of dollars. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on an iPhone, right? There is no hackaphone, okay? You can't get a false iPhone. It's not possible in this thing. So what are we doing, right? Because I've been talking a lot, but we haven't really done anything in this course yet. We've just been, getting set up and everything else. And that's okay for the first time. So today's all around course orientation. We're going to be talking about database fundamentals because this course is database heavy. We're going to be talking about databases, data stores, how to store data. And it's going to be storing data across different platforms. I'm going to give you examples of data that we're going to store on iOS and Android devices. Even though I have my PC here, here's a trick. You can always teleport into your Mac at home. What if you wanted to get, you wanted to port around your PC because your PC is, well, you got a PC, and you want to buy a cheaper Mac, right, that you want to get into from home, right, because you can't afford it. We're all students, and professors are poor too, believe it or not, right? And or maybe you just don't want to spend the money because you have other priorities. You want to buy the latest game, or you want to, have the latest fashion or something else. You never know, right? You don't want to spend money on a Mac when you don't want it. So I always go back to this apple.ca store, right? And let's talk about Macs just for a second. Because I know that this is one of your first classes and I want to talk about it. So if I go to Mac, I can certainly buy the latest and greatest MacBook Pro. People are going to be like, I want a MacBook Pro because I'm going to be programming in Xcode and I need it because I'm a super developer. And the answer is, that's a total lie. You don't need a MacBook Pro to be a super developer, actually at all, right? And the reason why is because all of them are very similar right at this point. M1s and M2s, that's it. Doesn't matter if it's a MacBook Pro, MacBook Air, MacBook Mini, a Mac Mini, right? Which is the same thing. Let's take a look at these prices for a second. If I go MacBook Pro, it's like $2,599 starting with an M2 Pro chip, which is pretty good. Canadian, right? That's a pretty good start, pretty good part to start. And you can see there's other prices here too, right? Different sizes. You don't need the biggest one. You can go with the little one. It's perfectly fine. It'll do the exact same job as all the other ones, okay? That's number one. And if you already have a PC, and some of you do, right? Here's another option, and I recommend this one over these ones. You can always do Google Remote Desktop, right? I can remote in to my PC at home. I can do that, or my Mac at home, if I have a Mac, right? So if I go to Macs again, and if I look at the Mac Mini, remember that $25.99 cost? Well, here's a Mac Mini with the exact same specs for $7.99, right? I don't even need a monitor. I can set it up at home, no monitor, no keyboard. I can teleport into it. That means like remote into it and have all access to every tool that I possibly want for $7.99. And that's brand new. There's refurbished models too. At the bottom of the page, when you come to look at this, that's why I kind of said this at our orientation. If you look way back at the bottom, you can see that there's refurbished Macs as well. And this is not including things like, I'm just trying to find the link here for you. Certified refurbished, sure it is. If you look at certified refurbished, if you don't want a Mac Mini, you can always get, if I go to Mac, you can always get a refurbished computer for cheaper. And by the way, a lot of them are M1s. An M1 chip with 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU for $629. Look at that, even cheaper, right? There's options, is what I'm saying. You don't need to build your Hackintosh, guys, okay? And if you have this at home, some people actually bring this with them. That's really weird too. They have a little Mac Mini, they bring it with them with the latest software, and they have a little iPad, and they use the iPad as a little, monitor, and a touch for keyboard. They don't even need to have a keyboard with them, and they're perfectly fine. They can run Xcode, no problem, right? Okay, so you could do it. It's an option for you. You're like, why does he make me buy stuff? Our professor's not supposed to make us buy stuff. You're right, but it's a BYOD program, and I want to talk about that. The assumption is, and I'm sorry to say this, but there is nothing around it. If you say, I'm sorry, professor, I don't have my Mac, I'm like, but that's the program, right? So I'm telling you day one when we meet together that's the assumption and that's the expectation. You must have a Mac. There's no way around it. Don't do it. Don't do it so that you try and do a Hackintosh. You can do it and it's amazing. The speed is great compared to your VM. There's no VM that can match the speed of your Mac on the metal, okay? No possibility. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. A good example of this is at home. My system at home is an i9 10900K, so it's an i9, not a couple of versions back. I have 64 gigs of RAM, right? And I have an RTX 3070. If I run, and I'm not joking around, if I run my Hackintosh on that machine, it won't be nearly as fast as the cheapest Mac that I can buy. Why? Because it's overhead. I got overhead, I'm running in a VM, all the stuff that's going on. It's not going to be the latest software. That's another problem you're going to have, incompatibility between you and the professor. The professor might be running the latest version of Xcode. You're going to be running an Xcode version back because that VM doesn't have the latest version. Updating it is going to be an issue. Guys, there's just so many problems. Why would you want to go down that road for the next 6 months? Don't do it. $6.99, $7.99, and you're golden, right? So what do I mean by remoting in? Here, I'll remote in. Let's remote in right now. If I go to remote desktop and I go to my Mac, here's my Mac at home, right? And by the way, I have a terrible connection. And my Mac is old, all right? Seriously, my Mac is old. Can I even get into my Mac at home? I don't even know. Let's see. So if I click on my Mac at home, oh, there I am. And I'm on my Mac at home. Yay! Here's my Mac, right? And if I go full screen, right? So let's just go and do a full screen here. Here we go. You can see for the most part, well, probably I don't want to go full screen, but for the most part, I'm good. Look, there's my Mac right here, and I can do Mac and PC exercises with you, no problem, and I'm completely at home. Is it usable? Well, let's see. I don't know. I'll bring up Visual Studio Code here, which is something we're going to use. It's not terrible, right? Look, it's from home. I'm not even doing things from here, guys. If I can do it at Georgian's network, as long as, proviso, they don't change anything in the network and block us, we're good. Right? I'm just trying to help you out. Okay, that's all I'm trying. We're going to get back to this. We're going to come back to the remote stuff. So there's some options. But why am I talking about this? Because the assumption is you have access to a Mac. I'm not going to say that again. You have access to a Mac. I'm not going to take things like, well, my Hackintosh, sir, crashed on me and I don't have it. Oh, well. You have access to a Mac. We talked about it day one, right? Or, you know what, sir, I don't have a computer at all. I have to share it with my friend. You have access to a Mac, especially when mid-semester test comes, when it's your test and your test alone, right? So that's something that you have to worry about too. All right. So database fundamentals we're talking about today, relational versus non-relational databases, if you don't know what that means. Database design principles, and we'll set up our environment. There is a in-class exercise 1 that is due this Sunday at midnight. Okay, let me talk about in-class exercises. 1, you must record a video. Every single time you do an exercise with me, anything you do, assignment, exercise, test, video, must happen, right? It's got to be you, all right? So don't get your friend to record it, right? Or someone you're paying to do it. It's you. I want your voice and your face, right? That's what I want, right? So that's something that is important to do. Now, what if you don't want to show your face? What if it's a thing for you? You're not happy. You're not comfortable. On in-class exercises, that's this stuff that we're doing every single time. You don't need to show your face. I need to hear your voice. I need to be able to hear your voice, and I need to see your screen. If I can't access your video because you made it private somehow, right? Or something went wrong, and I can't. By the way, this is no good. Don't use your phone to take, your video of your computer. Okay, that will not suffice. If you do that, 0, right? You must be able to stream record, which means have a piece of recording software to do that. And let me talk about this now as requirements. I want you guys to use OBS. Okay, OBS. This is the project that I want you guys to use, right? It is free and it's cross-platform. It works on Windows, Mac, and Linux, right? And there's nothing for you to spend. I'm going to put the link here, right, on Blackboard. And if you're not OBS link, okay, there it is. If you're not completely happy with it because you've never done recordings, right? And thank you, Arnaud. That's awesome that you populated that. Yes, educational pricing is better in the store as opposed to regular pricing. But this is OBS. So please take a look at that at OBS because I think it's amazing, right, in terms of what you can do with it. So also, how about when you record? Do I want you to be a streamer? Do I want to make you into a YouTuber or a Twitter person or some kind of God forbid, TikTok person? No, I don't want that, right? Instead, what I want is for you to record to an unlisted video, okay? So that means the only person who's going to see it is whoever you give the link to. That's me, right? No one else is going to see that video. I'm not going to share it with anybody, right, and everything else. It's going to be your video to me. It's almost like you and I are having a conversation. You're doing a little oral test every single time you do your in-class exercise with me. You're saying, hi, professor, my name is, this is what I want you guys to do. Hi, Professor, my name is, and this is the video for in-class exercise 1. In-class exercise, the stuff that we do every single week, 1 to 2 minutes. Here's what I want you to do. Do not read your code to me. I don't want your code. Your code is useless to me, right? Show me what I want, which is prove to me that this works. Actually show it to me. Here's my code. And now, let me run my code for you. You're running the code from your application. And, ta-da, let's use this little app that we just made. Let's use it, okay? That's what makes sense to me. So in-class exercises, 1 to 2 minutes, 3 minutes max. I'll give you an extra minute, all right, to do it. Hi, Professor, my name is, and this is my demonstration for in-class exercise, blah, blah, whatever that is, okay? And then for your assignments, you're going to be working with one other person, chances are, in a partnering thing. If you want to do your assignments on alone, you can do it alone, all right? When the time comes, I will open up the assignment groups, and you can join groups if you want to or whatever. But you get a chance to work with one other person, max, right? And when you pair program with that other person, so that means you and the other person sitting next to each other doing stuff, right? Now it's going to be a different kind of video. You're going to have one single PowerPoint slide. PowerPoint slide. Okay, I don't want a whole PowerPoint deck. I don't want that. I want one PowerPoint slide. And that slide is going to have your actual picture on it, like from your student ID or a recent picture of yourself, right? It doesn't have to be a glamour shot. Okay? It doesn't have to be a glamour shot. It doesn't have to be that, right? It doesn't have to be a fashion shot, right? I definitely don't want you doing anything weird, right, in the shot. Okay, don't do those kind of things. It's a shot for school. Okay, keep it clean, guys. It cannot be an avatar. So no funny bunnies or weird things that you're going to like, that you like to watch, or cat videos, okay? None of that stuff. It has to be real. It has to be you, right? And you're going to have another picture of your friend, the person that you're doing the assignment with. And you're going to say this now. Hi, my name is Tom, and this is my partner, Mohammed, and Mohammed is doing my this thing together with me. We're talking about assignment 1 here, and let's get to the demo. And you're going to show me the stuff I've asked you. There might be a checklist of things that I want you to do. I'm going to give you in the assignment. Go through each part of the assignment as you're demonstrating it. Show me part 1, part 2, part 3 in detail. And if you didn't do something, talk about why. I couldn't get this working. It didn't work for me. I tried, whatever. And show me your stuff. Worst case scenario, you want to talk about something. If you have nothing, though, if the video is like, hi, Professor, my name is Tom, and I don't have anything. I mean, there's only so much I can do for you, right? Here's the worst thing, though. If you submit nothing, there's nothing I can do for you, right? If you submit something, you never know. You might get part marks, right? Worst case scenario. For assignments, usually you have a 3-day grace, right? Which means if they're due on Sunday, assignments, right? You and your partner have worst case until Wednesday to submit them, no extensions. Worst case Wednesday, right? So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday after Sunday to submit them with a penalty. Okay, I take a penalty every single day that you don't submit them, right? After Wednesday, sayonara, see you later, goodbye. You're not going to get anything, 0, right? Again, unless there's some kind of weird extraneous circumstance, people get sick and whatever else can happen. And that is on a case-by-case basis. Okay, that means that you need to have a doctor's note and whatever, okay? But that is how it's going to be. Okay, so that's 3 days after. For in-class exercises, the assumption is you're going to do them today with me here physically in class. It means they're supposed to be due tonight at midnight, but I'm going to give you until Sunday, all right? That is your grace. Sunday is the last day you can submit them with 0 penalty. If you submit stuff by Sunday, every Sunday, I'm good. It's okay, because this way it gives you flexibility if you're working or whatever. You couldn't get it, you need to watch the video, whatever has to happen. Sometimes I'm too fast, sometimes whatever, right? You have until Sunday. After Sunday, 0. There is no after Sunday. Okay, you have from today until Sunday. Okay? For tests, everyone runs tests differently. Yep. Don't wait till Sunday is the answer, right? If you wait till Sunday, that's on you, right? Because it'll promptly close on Sunday at midnight. So don't wait until the last minute. We're going to talk about that in a second, okay? Yes, there's all kinds of possibilities, network issues, whatever, but we'll talk about this in a second. Let's talk about tests. Tests. All tests in this course are practical. There might be a theoretical component, which means I might have some small amount that's true, false, multiple choice. I reserve the right to give you a quiz at any time, from now until week 7. That means if you don't attend class and you miss the quiz, sayonara, see you later, goodbye, 0, right? And you have until Sunday of the same week, just like it would be an in-class exercise, all right? To be reasonable, right? Because maybe you're asynchronous, maybe you're not here, maybe something happened, blah, blah. You got leeway, okay? It's not like you can't do it. But in-class exercises and quizzes, you get the best 10 out of 12, which means you could completely not do 2 of them. You can decide to not do 2 quizzes or 2 of in-class exercises, whatever they are. However, if you do them all, I may have a bit of a bonus for you at the end. That means if you do 12 out of 12 in-class exercises, there might be some leeway in terms of your mark. I might even bump it up even more, okay? But 10 out of 12 is what I want from you. Tests. Let's talk about tests. Other professors get you to do the test in day. They watch you like a hawk, right? They're worried about stuff. They're worried about you like, going to cheat or something like that. I'm not worried about that because your test is going to be individual, right? Your test is going to be different than everyone else's test. There's always going to be something on your test that's different than somebody else's test. Just letting you know, right? And it could be some part of that multiple choice true false. It could be some feature that I'm going to ask you to build. But there's always going to be something different about your test compared to everyone else's test. So I'm not worried about it. You have the entire week to get it done. Here's how we're going to do it on test week. Test week starts on Monday, even though we meet on Wednesday. Monday, I'm going to release the test. And it's due on Friday, the end of the week, right? You have that entire week to get it done, okay? No extensions. It's a test, right? And the way it works is this. That entire week that you have to get it done, you can submit at any time. You can submit multiple times, right? And all that kind of stuff. The tests are all measured for 3 hours. Even though you have the entire week, I don't look at it like an assignment. It's almost like it's a smaller little thing that you do, almost like an in-class exercise. But it's worth 20%, right? It's not a small amount. These are heavy-duty tests that are like really punch you in the face, right? And you don't want to be surprised by them, okay? So please take them seriously because I'm going to take it seriously. Let me talk about that in a second. I'm just going to jump to this part right here, which is this piece. This is what I'm talking about. Your in-class exercise, every time we get together, they're worth 40% of your final grade. That means every single time we're together, right, when I need to get you to do stuff on a weekly basis, it's worth 4%. It's not 1%. It's not 0.5% like some people give you. It's 40%, right? If you don't show up and do your homework, kiss your mark goodbye, right? That's how it's going to be, right? So I want you guys to be engaged. And it could include, in-class exercise could be a quiz instead of an in-class exercise. It could be some activity we do in class or in week. I got to be fair for the people that are not here, right? Could be something like that that qualifies for an in-class exercise. Quiz, something else, a small assignment, 4% of your final grade, okay? For in-class exercise, like I said, there's something that we do together, and there's going to be maybe some component you do by yourself. By yourself. On that, what about ChatGPT? Let's talk about ChatGPT. We got to talk about these terrible topics right away, right? Oh yeah, because I know about ChatGPT, right? And I know about all the ways you could possibly figure ways around doing things the right way. Guys, I've seen thousands of students, thousands. I'm not lying to you. Look at my YouTube videos. I'm not joking, right? Thousands. So probably I've thought about those ways of going around the system, just like you, right? For all the ways you can possibly go around the system, it's far better just to do your work, right? You're going to get a lot out of it. Like truly, you're going to get a huge amount out of it compared to trying to figure a way around the system. However, I'm not going to tell you not to use ChatGPT. I'm going to tell you it's okay for me. Here's what I'm going to tell you. It's a great starting point. Go through ChatGPT, ask a question. It's going to give you a really great starting point on where you're going to go, right? But it's got to be your own. You need to be able to talk to it. You need to be able to understand how to use it. Because listen, in the future, all of us are going to use AI. That's my feeling. I know that there's other professors out there that don't believe this, that they're maybe unhappy with ChatGPT that it came out. I'm happy about it. Listen, it's not about artificial intelligence. It's about intelligence augmentation. It's going to make us smarter, right? If I can do things faster, I want to do things faster. I don't want to do things slower. Come on, right? Here's a good example. I code. I get some kind of visual assist when I code, right? I get code coloring and code hinting. That's AI, right? Why is that bad? Wait, am I going to take you back to the dark ages and get you to code just with an editor with no help? That's ridiculous, right? Am I going to say that you can't use Stack Overflow? That's stupid, right? I'm going to be saying, I'll say it the way it is. ChatGPT is okay, all right? Stack Overflow is okay, as long as you can make your application work. If you give me code that doesn't work, it's 0. So it doesn't really matter to me anyway, right? If your code works and it works the way you say it's supposed to work, okay. If your user interface works the way you say it's supposed to work and you got some of it from ChatGPT or Stack Overflow or you did some research or you did something in class, okay. As long as it doesn't look like my UI doesn't look exactly like your UI, and your UI doesn't look exactly like your UI, and your UI doesn't look like your UI. If everyone's UI looks different, well, the same, well, that's where we're going to get into trouble, right? Play with it. When I get some code, I play with the code. I look at it and go, oh, what if I change this variable and make it like this? What if I change the width of this? What if I add a picture here? What if I do something like that? Play with the code. Get used to it, because if this is really what you want to do, if this is your job that you want, then do your job. Make an app, or whatever it's going to be. So this is how we're going to be doing it. So mid-semester tests, they're serious, 20%. There might be both a practical and a theoretical component to it. There might be some amount. 10% might be, half of it might be theoretical. I might give you true, false, multiple choice tests like crazy, or some kind of choose the best answer. Which one is it going to be, right? And most likely they're going to be randomized. Some randomized question, and you're probably going to be able to defeat it, because you're probably going to use ChatGPT to say, which one is it, this one or this one, right? I don't care. It's going to go through your brain at least one time to do that, right? And I know it's going to happen, so I'm going to make it extra difficult. If I give you a quiz, I'm going to expect that you're going to use ChatGPT, which means I'm going to use ChatGPT to answer ask my own question. I'm going to say, no, so let's use ChatGPT, what it's going to give me. Oh, and if I see the exact same thing that you give me from ChatGPT, 0, right? This is none of yours. I want you to at least paraphrase it and put it into your own words. Try and understand what it means, right? Because otherwise, it's very stupidly simple for me just to look at it and go, is this AI? There are checkers that we have here on Blackboard. Turn it in, right? When you submit some writing to me, any writing, even code, I can check to see how much confidence is there that this has been written by AI. I have that tool, right? We all have that tool. Don't do it, guys. It's bad for you to do it, right? It's more work than actually doing the work, right? Just get the work done. And we're all going to be happy from now until the time that you guys are going to be rich and successful in the job that you're going to be in. Questions around this, the evaluation scheme, and my crazy rant about ChatGPT. Okay, some of you are like, he's crazy, right? Like, professor's crazy. It's true. I'm insane, right? Yes?
So the in-class will be built up to the assignments?
Absolutely. So hopefully there'll be some kind of relation. How about that? Hopefully, right? If there's not a relationship between your assignment and what I'm talking about, what the heck am I here for, right? They got it. Same thing with your in-class exercises. In-class exercises might be a build-up to your assignment, which means like you do your homework and then your in-class exercise kind of helps you build your assignment. Hey, that's okay. What's wrong with that, right? But we'll be told those people who don't do their homework and they wait for the test to come, right? Because the test is going to be some kind of thing that I'm going to give you, chances are. I'm going to say, here's your starting code and go do this, right? And then if you haven't followed along the entire time somehow, synchronous, asynchronous, in person, whatever, ask me questions on Discord, however you're going to do it, it might be much more difficult than you think. All right. And by the way, this spans all the things I teach with you. I teach the exact same way, whether I teach project management, C#, C++, Unity, Python, whatever. I've taught it all. I'm no joke, right? Linux, right? So, and I'm not saying that just to toot my own horn here. I'm telling you because I want you guys to be aware that I'm aware, okay? Let's go to this part. So that's today. Today's all around a course orientation. What are we doing? All that kind of stuff. We're getting into more about, for this week and next week, again, we're talking about things like database fundamentals. What are databases? How are we going to use those things? And you're going to say, but Tom, I've already learned this stuff, some of you. Good. You're going to be perfect on the quizzes or tests or whatever I get you guys to do. Yeah, fantastic, right? Or maybe you've never done it or you haven't done it practically, right? And that's okay. That gives you a chance to practice it. Remember, I'm going to take the best 10 out of 12 of these things. So don't worry. Just do your best. That's what I'm expecting you to do, okay? Some of the in-class exercises might have a rubric attached to them that I pre-populate. Example, I might say things like, I want you to do these things, and this is where the percents are coming from. Some of them, like today, won't come from that. It'll come from me telling you something like, make a GitHub repository, and put it up and share it with me, and do this kind of stuff. I might do that with you, which is what's going to happen today. Okay, so that's kind of the first half. The first half is about local data on your device. The second half is about remote data on the cloud, right? Data on some kind of database somewhere else, right? And they should say Atlas, not Altus. See what happens? Remote data sources, we're going to talk about NoSQL databases after the break. There's a mid-semester break, by the way, I should mention, which happens, at mid-semester, which is in this semester is June 28th and on, right? To July 2nd. If we look at our schedule together, and if you look at June, which is coming up, then again, it's June, for us it's June 28th, but it's from June 26th on. This whole week is a mid-semester break, no classes for any of your classes, okay? So then we come back on week 8, right? And when we come back on week 8, then we're going to start talking about remote data sources. There are 2 data sources I'm going to focus on. One of them is MongoDB, which some of you may be familiar with, right? And there's other ones like Firebase, which some of you may be familiar with, okay? And why? Because MongoDB and Firebase are the most popular data sources online, remote data sources that you can connect to your phone with, all right? That's why I do it. There is a special topics week on week 13, which we may elect to do more work, or I might give you some more time to do your assignment. I'll let you know as we come closer, depending on how busy you are, all right? I've built it in because I know how it is. There might be an in-class exercise that gets you to do something special when we're together. Okay, so that is our schedule and our course overview. Any questions around this before I get into the agenda of what we're going to be talking about today? You guys are good? Let's stop recording this one. Let's take 5 minutes so you can breathe and say, that crazy professor, that guy's just nuts. I don't know what he's going to make me crazy this semester, right? He can rant about me. You can be mad. That guy, he's going to make me code, right? He's going to watch my videos, right? You're going to say all these things, no problem. I'm okay. I got a thick skin. You can say all kinds of things. You can go on, and say whatever you want. But here's what I want you to think about. Think about why you're here. Think about our time together and take from me whatever you can, because our time together is short. It's going to come and go, and we're not going to be together anymore, right? And the idea here is that we can share together things. I can share with you, and you can share with me, and we can all learn something. That's the idea. Let's take a short break. I'm going to stop recording on Teams. Jump, jump, jump. And I'm going to stop recording on YouTube. And then we'll go from there, wherever YouTube happens to be with my OBS. Let's stop doing that right